That's my little doggy dude, getting chunky, eating all the food. Snuggles and he's pretty singing cute. That's my little dude, way too many toys up in the room, and this is all he really ever chose.
Zuma is a 5-year-old chocolate Labrador retriever pup, the youngest member out of the original 6 pups on the team, and serving as the water pup on the Paw Patrol. Wearing the number 07 and sporting an anchor on his pup tag, symbolizing his occupation and love for the sea. In Mighty Pups, his pup tag symbol changed to a wave with an orange background, symbolizing his Mighty Pup power being able to create waves and blast water at will. Being the team's water pup, he comes with a hovercraft equipped with a buoy, and as of Season 2, his hovercraft got an upgrade turning into a submarine used for underwater rescues, and the addition of a grabber arm as well. His pup pack is equipped with scuba gear that allows him to assist in underwater rescues. In his pup pack also includes a flashlight and, as of Season 2, a buoy launcher. With Mission Paw released in Season 4, he is given a sonar in addition to his scuba gear, allowing him to detect things underwater. Zuma is an expert swimmer and diver, also showing that he can hold his breath underwater for a good amount of time, after giving Wally his rebreather in Pup Save a Walrus. Zuma is also an expert at surfing as well as windsurfing, showing off his skills in a few episodes, entering a windsurfing competition, as well as teaching Marshall how to windsurf. He's also taught Rocky air swimming in his Ultimate Rescue episode, and was the lead in a yoga session during Season 4 in Sea Patrol Pup Save a Soggy Farm. Zuma is laid back and chill, something I can relate to myself, which is why he's become my favorite character over the course of the series. While his catchphrases "let's dive in" and "ready, set, get wet" are 2 of his most known, he has the tenacity to say dude in most of his appearances in the series, displaying a surfer-like personality, making him more unique than the other pups because of this phrase. He also has a competitive side, forming friendly rivalries with Skye when getting to the elevator first, and even Chase, whether in a Pup Pup Boogie contest or racing each other. Zuma's original voice is Alex Thorne, who still remains as my favorite out of all Zuma's voice actors over the years. Alex would give Zuma a trait that would make him more lovable if he didn't have it, that being speech impediment, in which his R's would sound like W's. Over time, this trait would disappear, and once Alex stopped voicing Zuma in the first part of Season 4, his brother Carter Thorne would take over the mantle until the end of Season 5, where Cheryl Simons would voice Zuma until the end of Season 8. He is currently voiced by Jordan Mazerol as of Season 9. According to one of Nick Jr.'s vids, Zuma and Skye are said to be best friends. However, as of recent, there haven't been many interactions between the two to prove it further. What we can prove is the broship of him and Rocky, with the pair being the second most popular bromance in the series, second only to Chase and Marshall. With the Season 1 ep Pups Make a Splash being listed as the first episode in the series, Zuma is the first pup to appear on a title card, plus he and Skye were the first 2 pups to be called on Ryder for rescue in that episode. Zuma was also the first character in the series shown to be able to walk on his hind legs, as shown in Pups and a Ghost Pirate. Zuma also pulled off one of the first roasts in the series during Pups Great Race in Season 1.
Sorry dude, I'll be zooming past you. My name is Zuma after all.
Along with this, he's had some pretty meme-worthy moments as well. And in my opinion, Zuma has the cutest slide animation out of all the pups. Despite all these good attributes about him, most of these get overshadowed by one simple fact. This has been the norm when mentioning him and has become one of the problems with the series in its current state. Zuma is criminally underused. Not only this, but it seems like he's not getting fair enough treatment compared to the other pups. In much so, he's been nicknamed the Orange One. But why is this the case? We'll answer that in the second part of this vid, as I'll go over every instance and example as to why Zuma deserves more love and screen time from the show. With that said, let's get into the first priority. This will be the most complicated topic I'll explain in this vid. Andrew Gamer Geo calculated the data of how many deployments each pup had per season in the series. All credit goes to him for this data. So over the course of the series, Zuma's had a total of 190 deployments in the series, which is the least out of the main 6 pups, and there are 400 episodes, both 11-minute segments and 22-minute ones combined, meaning that Zuma has been deployed in less than half of the episodes over the course of the series. Again, the only of the main 6 to do so. He is the least used pup in every season for the exception of Season 5, where he beat Rubble by 2 deployments. There are instances where Zuma has half the deployments that Chase has in a season, or sometimes below that. Seasons 6 and 7 show Zuma having less than half of the deployments Chase has. Season 5 is the season that Zuma is the most used, while Season 4 is the season where he was least used in terms of deployments by him. As of Season 6 onward, he's been barely able to crack the 20 deployment mark. not even being used in half of the episodes in these seasons, as well as how many title cards he's appeared on, which is 46, not even 1/8 of the episodes in the whole series. And again, this is the lowest out of the main 6 pups. To wrap this in a bow, there are multiple episodes where Zuma will have no dialogue in an episode, on top of not being used. He'll get lucky if he'll even get 1 or 2 lines in an episode. Again, he's the pup with the most of these occurrences. Now let's move on to Adventure Bay itself. Now it's called Adventure Bay for a reason. A coastal town surrounded by water. You would think that since it's a town off the coast that Zuma would get used a lot more than he does. That isn't the case. However, I will give a nod to the first season of this series for doing this aspect well, as Zuma is deployed 18 times as a first responder in the season, using his abilities not only with his hovercraft but underwater and scuba rescues as well, using both his main functions of being the team's water pup. While doing this, the writers also creatively have Zuma participate in rescues that don't require his water expertise. Some examples are helping Skye harvest the pumpkins in PUPS Fall Festival, helping put up the circus tent in Circus Pup Formers, participate in a race with the pups in PUPS Great Race, and one of my favorites out of Season 1, drive Rubble's rig to him and attempt to move the rocks from the tunnel's entrance in PUPS Save a Super Pup. They could have used any other pup in that particular situation, but they ended up using Zuma, which gave him an extra deployment. These are all good ways to use him outside of his normal services, and I think if the series were to keep this up and do more of these type of episodes, especially in the later seasons, I don't think Zuma's deployment count would be much of a problem as it is now. Unfortunately, that's where we are at this current stage. But even Season 1 episodes have these issues, like Pup SAVEA 2 for example. In order to have Alex go to the dentist, Ryder and the pups show up their fears and each one of them do except for Zuma. For whatever reason, he is left out of this completely, either due to time constraints or Ryder left him out on purpose. Zuma does give this very odd look in one of the scenes. Along with this, there are still discussions as to what his greatest fear is, the likeliest either being ghosts or certain reptiles like crocodiles, but still his true fear remains at large, and hopefully it'll be revealed one of these days. This entire team being used except for Zuma thing is likely to happen at least a few times in a season, and one of these is explained better than no other. Season 3, Pups Save the Hippos. This one clip from the app basically describes the situation Zuma has been in for the past few years.
Is there anything I can do?
Sorry, Zuma, but I won't need any of your tools for this job.
Oh, okay.
I applaud Zuma for taking this maturely, unlike someone else who whines when he almost didn't get picked to participate. I think the people running the show saw that Zuma was the least used pup and people were complaining about it, and made this episode in response. This all the pups being picked but Zuma was a bit of an issue beforehand with episodes like Pups Save Apollo in that same season, airing with every pup being used except for Zuma. And even with this episode airing 6 years ago, this issue still persists to this day. With all the pups being used except Zuma recently in Season 8, there have been a few of these. Let's now move to Season 4 with the episode Pups Save a Carnival, and once again Zuma is at the center of attention in this one, and he struggles while trying to win a lizard throw and isn't on target until when he gets called in for rescue that he starts improving, and he eventually wins a prize at the end. I love seeing my boys so happy at the end of both episodes. Really nice. Why I brought this up is because this would be the last good character development episode we would get for Zuma. Still to this day, there hasn't been one for him despite the other pups getting one themselves. And speaking of Season 4, I thought Sea Patrol was going to be the sub-series where Zuma would shine the most. However, I was disappointed with him not being used as much as I thought he would. It kind of made Zuma feel a bit redundant, as with Sea Patrol introduced the Sea Patroller, the Sub-Patroller, a new HQ, and the pups getting their own scuba suits. Honestly, I feel like this should have been an ultimate rescue for him of some kind, or even a spin-off series, which all these aspects that I just mentioned could be good for him. And speaking of a spin-off series, that reminds me, there were a good amount of people who wanted to see Zuma as the main character for the upcoming spin-off series, because of him not getting utilized as much and wanting to see more of him. However, it was Rubble that got chosen for it, which is a fair choice. Hopefully Zuma will get his chance at some point in the near future. Onward to Ultimate Rescue, and for that sub-series, Zuma got deployed in every single episode in that sub-series, and used in some way. But that's not why I decided to branch over to this sub-series. Let's run the numbers for each character in regard to how many Ultimate Rescues they've gotten. Chase has 5, Marshall has 3, Skye and Rubble both have 2, and guess how many Rocky and Zuma have? 1. Just 1 Ultimate Rescue between them. But wait, it gets worse. Chase, Marshall, Skye, and Rubble each got at least one 22-minute Ultimate Rescue episode. Rocky and Zuma and their only Ultimate Rescue between them got an 11-minute segment episode. That just proves that in the series' minds, these 4 are the top dogs, while the other 2 are just shoved aside. And this isn't the only instance where these 2 have been neglected, which brings me to my next topic. This has been a common trend with the show for a while if you noticed, and that is Chase, Marshall, Skye, and Rubble are usually the 4 pups that are shown off on most of the merch and promotional material for the series, with Rocky and Zuma to some extent not being featured on it, whether it be from DVDs, books, towels, lunchboxes, backpacks, you name it. I even found ones where all the pups, even Rocky, is featured, but not Zuma. One you may remember is the first piece of material for Rescue Nights, in which all the pups are featured including Claw, but not Zuma. And when a new sub-series is revealed, Chase, Marshall, Skye, and Rubble are the only ones to be shown off in their attires for the sub-series, and what usually ends up happening is that we have to wait about a month, or if we're lucky enough, weeks or days to see Rocky and Zuma in their attires for that sub-series. Even the Paw Patrol movie fell victim to this, as we had to wait until the KCA, which was literally like 2 months after the first merch weeks dropped, to see Rocky and Zuma in this art style. A little off topic with the title of the vid, but as of Rocky and Zuma's interactions, they have been pretty minimal to say the least as of the last 3 seasons. One example of this is Rocky has not said Zuma's name since season 5. However, this was recently resolved in Pups Meet the Cat Pack in season 9. Interestingly, the same goes the other way around, with Zuma not saying Rocky's name since season 5 as well. As of recording this vid, he still hasn't said Rocky's name yet, just showing how far the interactions between the characters and the current state of the show have fallen drastically. So that brings us to season 9, and let's just say it's not been going well for Zuma, starting with the first 2 episodes of the season, both Liberty episodes. This is by far the most agitated I've been to a start of the season. Why? Well, along with the other issues these 2 eps have, Zuma gets the worst end of it. He only speaks 1 line of dialogue, which is better than nothing in all fairness, but it's still an issue. On top of this, he isn't used in the episode while every other pup is, including Liberty. And if that wasn't bad enough, this one scene tops it off. In the first round of the Pup Pup Boogie tournament, Liberty goes up against Rubble and Zuma. Liberty ends up winning the round due to plot armor and advances to the finals. But that's not the point. Take a look at the scores at the end. Liberty crushes the competition, Rubble somehow comes in second with 4 stars, and Zuma comes in last with only 1 star. Considering how he was really good at the game as shown in Pups in the Lighthouse Boogie in Season 1, the continuity and consistency was completely shelved. Now if Zuma would have instead paired up in Skye's round matchup, then I would have been fine with him losing to her, as she and Zuma are equal in experience from the game. But still, that 1 star alone irks me. This one scene symbolizes how much the series cares about him and left him in the dust, no better than among the rest of his peers. In addition, at the time of this being recorded, Zuma has been deployed only once as a first responder this season, with Pups Meet the Cat Pack. He has been deployed a few times as a backup responder with Pups Save a Sand Sculpture Contest, and the first Big Truck Pups episode, Pups Stop a Flood, where he got a good amount of dialogue and his own little section of the rescue, which somewhat made up for not being used for most of the early part of Season 9. And that takes us to the end. Zuma has a good amount of potential, but the series never explores it, so who is to blame? Ryder for not deploying him as much, or the writers for not giving Zuma enough situations where he can be utilized? It seems like Zuma will suffer for all eternity, but there is some hope. There is a chance that he could get his own TV movie at some point in the future, as he and Rocky are the next pups in line to get one. But will the series neglect this like they have with focusing on these 4 and not all 6? Or if possible, have Zuma be the star in his own theatrical movie? That is, if Cal Brunker, Spin Master, Nickelodeon decides Zuma would be a good pick for it. And theatrical movies are the best form of media we have going for the series at this point. If anyone can give Zuma the respect he deserves, if the series can't do it, it's Brunker. One question still remains out of all this. Will Zuma get the justice, love, and respect from the series that he deserves? Or will he suffer for all eternity, as long as the series continues?